So we just randomly started a conversation.
Okay, all right.
Brim, I'd like to ask you a question. How many years you spent here in China?
Altogether, probably about 5 years. You put all the different times I've had the opportunity to come to China.
Can you please tell me about your Chinese language level right now?
There's a lot of the grammar that I have difficulty with, where I can get my meaning across, but grammatically it's terrible. I'm able to communicate basic conversations, no problem. When it comes to talking about more business-orientated things, my abilities start to show their limit. And so I have to think of very creative ways to try and get my point across.
How long time you think it will take for you to get to reach fluency, absolute fluency?
My life, to be honest, I don't think, really it depends on what kind of level of fluency, because the level of fluency for a general public, like general worker, general public person would be 2,300 characters.
Yeah, sure. All right, let's talk about spoken language.
Okay, sure. I would say if someone really tried hard, practiced every day, really immersed themselves.
For you.
Based on my own experience and my own time commitments, I would say the speed I'm going, 12 years.
All right, well, let's say if any foreigner from any country would like to study Chinese, how long time it would take for a person to...
Well, that depends on their age.
To reach fluency.
Depends on their age, depends on their level of interest within
All right, just
the
let's say
culture.
any person from 20 to 30 years old.
20 to 30. Roughly, they could probably have working language within 8 months and be able to communicate, get their points across within a year. To really have those deep, meaningful conversations to figure out the human condition, probably 6 to 8 years.
Right, but here you are talking about both sides. First one is spoken language and written language. Spoken level, good spoken level. A year.
A year, probably.
A year. And written.
Written,
it's a second.
I'd say about 5 years.
5 years, right?
Writing is definitely something very difficult because of the nature of language that a lot of people around the world use. It's very difficult to go from a alphabetic-based language to a pictorial-based language.
Exactly.
So because of that, a lot of people who would come from a background of a language with an alphabet would need more time. Other parts of the world, perhaps, maybe not.
And Bram, what do you think of, let's say, Chinese people who are studying English? How long time they should spend for this language? Well, first off, definitely English is not that difficult compared to Chinese. There's no such thing as...
Well, sure. I would say English has so many strange rules and contradictions that makes it an incredibly difficult language because there are so many special conditions. I, as a native speaker, would say that before the age of 26, I was not very strong grammatically with English. It took many lessons and many years and a lot of writing to become more competent. So, based on that, I would honestly say for a Chinese person, because of the educational makeup that students progress through, English would be easier to a certain point for Chinese students based on the study skills that a lot of students are equipped with. However, when it gets into that more advanced language acquisition, I would say things kind of balance out. Roughly 6 months maybe for basic English to being able to write simple compositions, maybe a year, and then to really talk about the meaning of life, that 6 to 10 year mark sort of thing. So, and again, it depends on the student's access to language. A lot of students, if there's a critical mass of people from the same culture, those students are not going to practice the second language.
Right.
They'll revert back to whatever language that they know.
Right.
And in most cases, that's only going to extend the amount of time needed to fully grasp and acquire the linguistic skills of a second language for effective communication, for business, for school, for whatever. I would say students in China have a much greater grasp of grammatical rules than native speakers. Vocabulary-wise, a lot of students would have a stronger repertoire or dictionary in their head of words that they could use. I would say China is a lot better at having a one-size-fits-all and a certain standard level that all students meet. I would say you would have a graph that would look more or less the same, where if you take that same average class of North American kids, you would have all sorts of peaks and valleys. So I would say having a standard product or a standard result, China's leagues better than North America. I would say students are more prepared to work hard. I wouldn't necessarily say students are the most prepared for life in the Chinese system. And
they just repeatedly do the same thing and are not trying to really understand what's the point of all of it. Thanks for your time.
No problem, no problem.
我有一张得到后就会笑的脸，说着一些充满着爱的语言。假如正好你来到身边，也会感觉是在春天。我那么狂，像马儿奔跑在旷野。我有一张失去后就会哭的脸，告诉别人我已经开始埋怨。原来感觉美好的一切突然变得不想留恋，我真的慌，而觉得所有的肤浅。我已经进来，却无法离开这个满是诱惑的世界。为了拥有，不怕被伤害。我知道不管什么，人们都和我一样。